Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to Storytime Fun. Today's story is out of the Kids Praise series of stories called Melody's Kooky Cover-Up. And today's story is about building self-worth. And it's written by Ken Geyer. It was a bright, sunny day as Melody skipped down the sidewalk. She felt so good inside that she could hardly keep all of her warm feelings in. So they bubbled out as a happy, light-hearted song. "Good morning, birdies," she sang as she passed under the trees. And all her gaily feathered friends sang their good mornings back to her. Tweet, 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 tweet. Moving down the sidewalk, she passed a bookstore window that was filled with all sorts of new children's books. "Oh my!" she exclaimed as she stopped and gazed in the window. All the books had pretty covers, decorated with drawings and a rainbow of bright colors. "Oh," she thought to herself as she stared, "they look so shiny, so beautiful." Then she caught a glimpse of her reflection in the glass. "Oh," she gasped. She wanted to run and hide because she saw how simple and plain she was compared to the books inside the store. She stepped closer to the window and took a long, hard look at herself. It was enough to make her cry. She had no bright colors. She had no cute drawings. She had no shine. All she had was a very common, very dull, very ordinary pink cover. Suddenly her face grew hot. She felt so ugly, so unimportant. Her eyes began to fill with tears. And then she dashed off down the sidewalk, crying as she ran. She stumbled on for blocks and blocks until she was all run out. As she trudged along, her feet felt so heavy. With her head bent down, she passed under some new trees with big leafy branches. As she did, the birds sang out to greet her, "Tweet, tweet, tweet, tweet." But she couldn't sing back. Melody had lost her song. As she walked, she passed another storefront window. It was a gift shop filled with all kinds of wrapping paper. Some of the paper was covered with purple and orange polka dots, some with blue and yellow stripes. Other paper had pictures of beautiful flowers, colorful balloons, or little furry animals. So cute. All the paper was very, very pretty. "That's it," Melody said, snapping her fingers in delight. "I'll get some bright new wrapping paper and make my own book cover. Yay!" So she went in. When she came out of the store, her arms were filled with all sorts of brightly colored wrapping paper, scissors, and plenty of tape. "Now I can be just like the books in the window," she exclaimed. So she trimmed and cut, folded and taped. It was very hard work, but before long, she had made herself a fancy new book cover. Melody was so excited, she even felt her song starting to return. Yay! Melody walked tall and proud back to the bookstore window. She couldn't wait till the other books saw her. However, when she came to the window, all the display window books glared at her with big, long, mean-looking frowns. "Take a look at that," she overheard one say as he nudged the book next to him. "Who does she think she is? uttered another under her breath. Look at that kooky-looking book cover, snickered another. Then they all started to giggle. Melody couldn't help herself. Starting to cry, she ran away as fast as she could go. And as she ran, she tore off her wrapping paper book cover. Oh. When she reached home, she dashed to her bedroom and threw herself on her bed. She buried her head in the pillow and began to sob. I'm so ugly, she said, and so worthless. Nobody likes me. Nobody likes me. She cried and cried until she ran out of tears. Her father, Salty the Singing Songbook, heard Melody's sobs and came in to see if she was all right. Melody, Melody, he said softly as he bent down to give her a hug. What's the matter? But Melody just sniffled in response. Come now, my little booklet. It can't be as bad as all that, can it? Nobody likes me. Don't say that, Melody, he said. We all love you, Rhythm, Harmony, Mom and I. We all love you very, very much. But nobody else does. Why do you think that, sweetheart? Because I don't have a new shiny cover like the books in the store. I'm just a plain old good-for-nothing me. He tenderly stroked her hair. So that's what's bothering you. Melody nodded without saying anything. Sometimes we think our looks are all that matters, Salty said. And we sometimes worry too much about what we wear or how we style our hair. But to God, it's what's on the inside that's most important. You see, Melody, continued Salty, God looks at our hearts. To him, it's not what's on the book cover that's important. It's what's on the inside that counts. Melody sat up and began to dry her tears. You mean he doesn't care whether I have a fancy book cover or not? It doesn't bother him that I look so ordinary? Listen to what God says in the Bible and see for yourself, Salty answered. Don't be concerned about the outward beauty that depends on jewelry or beautiful clothes or hair arrangements. Be beautiful inside, in your hearts. This is precious to God. Salty reached over to the bookshelf beside Melody's bed and pulled out a tattered old play-worn little storybook. Remember this book? Melody nodded with a smile. It was her favorite storybook. I remember how much you loved this book from the day your mom and I gave it to you. How it made you laugh. How it cheered you up no matter how bad you felt. You look just how frayed it is around the edges. He handed the book to her. Was it the cover that gave you so much joy, or the story inside? The story, answered Melody. Salty pulled another book from the shelf, too, so Melody could see it. It was a cookbook that her mother Saltina had given Melody. There, look at the mess on the cover of this one. He pointed to the spots in the butter that had made where the cake batter had soaked in and dried. But you know, honey, it's the recipes inside that gave us the delicious cakes and pies, not the pictures on the outside. Finally, Salty took another book from the shelf. "Look at this, Melody," he said. "Here's your first Bible. It just has a plain white cover. Nothing fancy. And look at all the finger marks from your eager hands." He handed the Bible to Melody. "What is it that you loved so much about this book?" he asked. Melody looked at the Bible and thought, "I love it because it tells about the beautiful story of God's love for the world," she answered. God is like a master bookmaker, Melody, and you were made to be a special limited edition of one with a special story only you can tell. Melody's eyes grew big and bright. "And God loves me no matter what I look like on the outside," she said. "Because he looks at the inside, at my heart, doesn't he, Dad?" "That's right. And you have a beautiful heart, my sweet little booklet." Then they gave each other a big warm hug, and Melody felt a sudden urge to sing. As the music bubbled up from her toes, she smiled up at her father and began to hum. "I think, yes, my song has returned," she exclaimed. "Yay!" And she started to sing. Salty joined in, and together they marched out of the room singing their favorite sing-along song. Yay! That's it for today. We'll see you next time.